Vice President naman, from receipt of that reply, is given as well a period of 3 calendar days to file her rejoinder. Ang tawag natin dito, DJ, responsive pleading. Reason is nagsasagutan sila. From complaint, may answer si VP. From answer, mayroong reply si complainant. And from reply, may rejoinder si VP. No? Ang tawag ko dito, DJ, is step 3. And as a matter of fact, dito sa step 3, dito na rin sinasubmit yung evidence ng both parties, complainant and respondent. And if they have affidavits and counter-affidavits, they need to be sworn in as well before the Justice Committee. When all of these are complete, the Justice Committee under step 3 needs to determine whether or not there's sufficient ground that supports the impeachment complaint. If the answer is in the affirmative, if that is a decision of the Justice members' majority, we go to step 4. Step 4 is the hearing proper. Dito natin tatawagan ang complainant, ang witness, and even the respondent. Maraming nagtatanong, DJ, what if the respondent doesn't show up? What if the Vice President doesn't appear before the Justice Committee? Let us remember that her appearance in the hearing is part of her right to due process. In other words, she has the prerogative. She has the option. She has the choice whether to come or not to come. No? If she doesn't come, it will be interpreted merely as a waiver of her right to be present during the hearing. Pag natapos na lahat ng parties dito sa hearing proper, we go to step 5. In step 5, the Justice Committee will vote on whether or not there is probable cause that supports the impeachment complaint. That is why, DJ, ito ang dahilan, Manong Ted, why I compare the proceeding before the Justice Committee to a preliminary investigation in an ordinary judicial proceeding. No? Para kami mga fiskal, nag-PPI, the quantum of evidence required is probable cause, and whatever the decision is of the Justice Committee in step 5, isusulat namin yan sa committee report. And that committee report is subjected to the approval of at least 1/3 of all the members of the House of Representatives. No? Kung makakakuha siya ng at least 1/3 vote, then that is the time that the Articles of Incorporation, Articles of Impeachment will be transmitted to the Senate for trial.
Wow, well explained. Ngayon mas naiintindihan ko na rin po itong proseso nito nga pong impeachment. Ma'am, yung sinasabi niyo po na bibigyan ng 10-day period si VP Sara para nga po makasagot. Kailan po magsisimula yan? Kailan po ba niya matatanggap ito pong notice? Notice po galing sa Kamara. Oo.
Yeah, alam mo kasi sa law school tinuruan kami ng pagbibilang Exclude the first, include the last. I don't know really what's the policy of the House in counting. Kasi I observe parang iba no? Parang pag nilabas mo siya ng March 5, March 15 ang 10th day niya. Something like that. But I will double check that. In law kasi, you exclude the first, you include the last, no? So, it's like, what's this? March 5, so ilalabas mo siya March 5. Exclude the first, start ka ng March 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Pares pala. March 15 pa rin yung 10th day niya, no? So, the counting should start on March 6. Pero I understand it will be served to the Vice President today, March 5.
So ngayon po isuserve March 15, inaasahan na matatapos yung 10-day grace period ni VP Sara Duterte. Pero para lang din po sa mga nakikinig, kasi dalawa 'di ba yung pinagdaanan, sufficient in form and then sufficient in substance. Na-explain na po last time ni Kong Joel Chua kung ano po yung sufficient in form. Paano naman po tinitignan ng komite kapag sinabi nating sufficient in substance? Kasi sabi niyo po kanina, parang lumalabas, ano lang kayo preliminary hearing kung ikukumpara po natin para kay mga piskalya. So dito po ba sa sufficient in substance, may mga tinitignan na rin tayong ebidensya?
Well, we are just we are just looking at the face of the impeachment complaint, including the attachments, no? Pero if you will consider the rule, in verbatim, as sabi dyan, there is sufficiency in substance if there is a recital of facts that constitute an offense determinative of the ground of impeachment, no? Ang tinutukoy dong offense is the specific actions of the respondent which are contrary to law. And then ang sinasabing determinative of the jurisdiction of the committee, these specific acts must constitute any, some, or all of the grounds for impeachment. And of course, we have to understand, pag sinabi natin grounds for impeachment, may enumeration dyan ang Constitution. And the enumeration is exclusive in nature. Yun lang. You cannot go beyond. Ano ito? A culpable violation of the Constitution, betrayal of public trust, treason, bribery, graft and corruption, and other high crimes, no? And another important thing here, DJ Chacha, no? Itong offenses or specific acts or allegation of facts, dapat makonect mo to dito sa ground for impeachment. Ito yung tinatawag nating factual nexus. You have to establish the ground between the offenses and the ground, no? The impeachable ground. The impeachable offenses with the impeachable ground. Dapat ma-establish yan. Dapat makonect mo yan. Otherwise, you cannot say that that is sufficient in substance, no? But indeed, the determination are confined only to what appear in the impeachment complaint and the attachments therein. DJ?
Okay, so tama po ba yung pagkakaintindi ko? At dito, ang tinitignan ay kung dapat ba, karapat dapat bang imbestigahan yung mga allegations muna kay VP Sara? Yun lang po.
Well, ang tinitingnan natin is the sufficiency in substance, kung may sapat bang
Basehan.
offenses at ground for impeachment na na-allege doon sa impeachment complaint. No?
Opo. So kaya na po tayo tutunghay ngayon after ituhong kaninyong step na ito para po sa sagot, kontrasagot at rejoinder na inaasahan natin kung magkakaroon na po ng formal na pagdinig. Doon ba sa formal na pagdinig po, Madam Chair, meron bang subpoena powers doon ang komite?
Actually, Madam Ted, I'm inclined to believe that as early as now, the Justice Committee can exercise already its power of compulsory process, no? Alam mo to, alam ko nag-aral ka din ng batas eh. This includes subpoena duces tecum if you want to compel the production of documents, and subpoena ad testificandum if you want to compel the attendance of witness before the Justice Committee. So my answer to that, yes, meron na. But I think it's not only during the hearing proper. As early as now, meron ng compulsory process ang Justice Committee.
Opo. Ma'am, is that your opinion o kinakailangan, yan bang inyong sinasabi ngayon na yan ay inyong opinion at yan ba'y kinakailangan pa munang pagbotohan ng majority members of the committee or magkaroon muna kayo ng deliberasyon before nyo yan gawin? Yan ba'y nasusulat sa inyong rules, ma'am?
The reason why I am saying this is because we have to understand that Justice Committee is a collegial body. As such, the only way to decide is by way of the majority vote. So, in significant occasions and decisions to be done, I make it as a practice that we do it by way of collegial body. No?
Okay.
So, to your question, ito bang exercise ng compulsory process dapat idaan sa botohan? I think yes, because this is a collegial body and I cannot decide alone.
Opo, and we sincerely appreciate, ma'am, with the way you handled itong nagdaan ng mga hearing, para po sa pagbibigay ng chance sa lahat ng mga miyembro na magsabi ng kanilang kaisipan at saloobin. So dito hong binabanggit nyo na puder ng komite na magsubpina ng mga tao, mga dokumento, hindi yan nasusulat talaga sa inyong impeachment rules po, ma'am?
Well, actually, hindi siya ganon kadetalyado, no? But The reason why I am aligned to maintain that position is because of the fact that this is not the decision of the chair only. This is not the decision of one member only, which is being considered in the Justice Committee. Here, it is always the rule of the majority.
Okay. And kayo ho ba, ma'am, as committee chairman ay pwedeng bumoto?
No. And nakadalawang botohan na kami, 4 na pala, because originally we had no 6 actually. 6 na beses lang bumoto. Because during the determination of sufficiency in form, 4 pa sila. 'Di ba?
Opo.
Sa determination of sufficiency in substance, 2 na lang sila. So total of 6 voting already. Hindi pa po ako nagkaroon ng chance na bumoto because I know for a fact I am not allowed to vote except in cases of tie.
Ayun, opo, klaro yan. So, ma'am, dito po sa usapin po ng mga, hindi sa pinangungunahan po namin ano po ang mangyayari, pero doon po sa mga aligasyon tungkol po sa mga SAL-N issues na ito. Doon po sa mga aligasyon po ng umano ay hindi maipaliwanag na yaman, diyan ho, ma'am, talaga, pwede na pong umiral ang poder ho ng komite para mismo mga bank records na ito vis-a-vis the bank secrecy law, gagaya po sa impeachment court, pwede na pong manaig ang poder ng komite ho dito sa pagsusupina ng mga ganon?
I believe yes, Manong Ted, no? Kasi if we will look into the provisions of the bank secrecy law and other related laws, ang sinasabi dyan, the exception to the protection that is provided by the bank secrecy law is during impeachment cases or impeachment proceedings. The law is silent whether it refers to the Justice Committee or to the Senate trial. And we should be reminded by our principle in statutory construction. When the law does not provide, we should not provide. When the law does not distinguish, we should not distinguish. And by impeachment proceeding, by impeachment case, that includes the proceeding that is happening before the House of Representatives through the Justice Committee.
Opo. And in case po na naman, ito'y questionin po ng panig po ni VP Sara, yan po ay kanilang karapatan na naman kung sakasakali.
Yes, definitely. As a matter of fact, they can go to the Supreme Court at any stage of the proceeding at karapatan nila yan. We cannot do anything about that. But we are hopeful and positive that with the degree of caution that we are exercising today, including all the justice members, I hope that the Supreme Court this time will uphold the impeachment proceedings.
Okay. Ma'am, yung pong mga testimonya ng mga testigo po dito, no? Yung pong usapin ng kanilang seguridad. Kasi po malaking bagay yan, no? Yung lakas na loob ng mga testigo po dito kung sakasakali. Ang komite ho ba may poder din tungkol po sa pagbibigay sa kanila ng seguridad dito?
I think yes, Ted. As a matter of fact, we've done that before during the Quadcom investigations and even, I think, during the good government inquiry also, no? Na if there is a motion coming from the complainant at na-substantiate nila yung threat or danger which is posed to the life of the possible witness or the witness in this impeachment complaint, we will be acting on that motion in a way that we will be bringing to the custody of the witness. Like, for example, in the case of Ramil Madriaga, from the BJMP to the HREP, but that is, of course, with the consent of the concerned agency, which is the BJMP.
Opo. And again, subject to the approval nga po sa mayorya ng mga miyembro ng komite. So kapag pinag-usapan natin dito ang testigo, pati po mga dokumento, pati po yung mga dokumento na actual na sinumite ng Office of the Vice President o maging sa tanggapan po ng DepEd doon sa mga pinaggastusan ng confidential fund at yung mga kontrata doon sa mga safe houses. Doon po sa mga pangalan, sa mga voucher na tumanggap po ng pera ng gobyerno, yun po, maisusubpi na po nyo yan at sa usapin po ng paglalantad sa publiko kasi po ito'y public hearing, paano kaya yon?
Yes, we can issue subpoena duces tecum in as far as the COA documents are concerned, no? And for purposes of authentication, we can subpoena as well. Whoever is the custodian of this
Mm.
COA documents, for them to identify before the Justice Committee that they are genuine documents of the Commissioner Audit.
Paano po ninyo, ma'am, ito ho bang hearing na ito ay talagang all the way magiging publiko, meaning live stream po ito? Sa usapin po noong halimbawa dumating ang pagkakataon, ito ho na naman, theoretical ano po, na yung piatos, no? Sino ba siya? Oo, yung dokumento ng ito. And then yung sinasabi na pag sinupinan nyo yung tao na nag-submit nito, yung mga pagpapapirma sa mga voucher na ito, paano ho kaya? Will that be made public, ma'am?
Yes, definitely, Manong Ted, no? The entire proceeding will be publicly available. I mean, it will be watched. It can be watched by the public, no? Sapagkat this is a public hearing and the public has the right to know whatever is happening in the Justice Committee. And as far as our impeachment proceeding is concerned. So yes, kung masasaksihan ba ng mga Pilipino itong pagharap ng mga testigo ito, definitely they will.
Opo. Yung paglalantad po ng mga bank statement din, ma'am, yan po ay maisa sa publiko kung sakasakali po.
Most especially the presentation of these bank documents sapagkat these are very delicate matter, no? And it is really our intention to share that to all the Filipino people. Kung ano man ang makikita nating ebidensya. Sabay-sabay po nating makikita kung ano mang ebidensya ang i-offer sa atin ng mga complainants.
Okay. So, kumbaga po, ma'am, dito po sa stage na ito nga po kasi nga eventually ay ang magiging laman ng inyong committee report. Doon po, ma'am, hindi lang po probable cause ang quantum of evidence doon lalabas kung sakasakali po.
In which stage, Manong Ted?
Ito hong stage na po ng paglalantad ng lahat ng mga sinasabing ebidensya na iharap.
Okay.
Opo, go ahead, ma'am.
We cannot actually say na hindi na ito probable cause because let us remember that the respondent has the right to counter the evidence to be presented by the complainant.
Okay.
So we do not know if after we have seen the counter evidence of the respondent, the evidence will actually be more than or just enough for probable cause. We do not know yet. It will depend on the progress of the hearing.
Yes, oo nga naman ano po. Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am, yung pong inyong calendar meron kayong break ngayon pong Semana Santa. It's happening on March 20. Ang balik po ninyo ay May 4 na. And then
That's correct.
Apo. And then hanggang June 5 po iyan. Opo,
Yes.
Opo. And then pagbalik nga po ninyo, ito na po ata yung SONA ni Presidente Marcos. Kapag ho nagkaroon kayo ng hearing na actual na dito po sa mga pinag-usapan natin, bank statement, etc. Yan, ma'am, gaano kalaking oras ang ibibigay ng Kongreso dyan, ng komite? Yan ba'y araw-araw, Lunes hanggang Biyernes? Paano ho kaya yan? Kasi nga, kung alam niyo ho yun, kapag sinimulan po yung ating pag-usisa at panonood dito, yung pong usapin po ng kumbaga walang break. Oo, tuloy-tuloy. Paano po?
Well, Madam Ted, ganito, because of the high significance, the importance, at most importance of this impeachment proceeding, I am really inclined to hear the impeachment case as fast as we can without compromising due process and without compromising the substance of the evidence. No? So, yes, I understand. Beginning on March 18, naka-recess na kami and we will be resuming on May 4. But at this point in time, I am inclined to continue with the hearing even during recess. I know this is outside already the definition of session day as per resolution of the Supreme Court dated January 28, no? But considering that the intention is to expedite so as to satisfy the waiting Filipino people about the result of this impeachment, no? I think we will be upheld by the Supreme Court on that point. So we intend to hold hearings on April, May, and perhaps June, 2 to 3 months, no? I went over the grounds, notwithstanding the fact na dalawa ang complaint. They can be summarized actually into 6 grounds. That includes the threat, the confidential fund in OVP, confidential fund in DepEd, the bribery or the payola in DepEd, and then we also have the the SALN in relation to the affidavit of Ramil Madriaga, and 6 is destabilization plot, which is, to me, is a totality. The way it was drafted in the complaint, this pertains to the totality of all the actions committed by the Vice President, allegedly.
Okay. So ma'am, after Holy Week, ano nga po, kahit na po naka-break kayo, pwede kayo magpatawag, pero yan ho bang schedule na iyan ay dapat nyo na munang ma-resolve sa Committee on Justice before kayo mag-break ngayon para on record na pinagbotohan nyo yan?
No, it will be done by way of a meeting only. So long as the justice, of course, I cannot proceed without the quorum, no? So ang importante lang ay merong conformity, not necessarily a vote, ang mga members with regards to their availability on the dates that I will be proposing for the hearing.
Okay. Ilan ho ba ang actual na miyembro po, voting members ng Committee on Justice?
What I remember, Manong Ted, is I'm the 40th. That is the regular members, no? But I'm not allowed to vote. So the members that are allowed to vote are only 39. Okay? So, but if you're asking about total members, we are 40. That's what I understand. Paapat na po ako. And then let us remember that the ex-officio members, they are 15, I believe, have the right to participate and vote. Not only in Justice Committee, but in all committees.
Okay.
That explains kung bakit ang boto kahapon is 54. 1, no?
Okay, opo.
May ang mga ex-officio members, if they have no opportunity to participate, they're actually allowed to deputize non-member and non-ex-officio members. That is why, pag tinignan mo yung mga present kahapon during the voting, may makikita kang hindi member ng Justice Committee, hindi rin ex-officio member, but they are equipped with the necessary deputization letter from an ex-officio member.
Okay.
Pag sinabi natin, Manong Ted, na ex-officio member, we are referring to the House leaders from the House Speaker down to the majority leaders, the DML, Deputy Majority Leaders.
Okay. So, ma'am, doon po sa regular na mga miyembro, doon ka lang mahahango ng iyong quorum?
No. The ex-officio members are allowed to attend and allowed to vote, and for the purposes of determining the quorum and even determining the majority and determining the number of votes, kasama sila sa bilang.
So, let's simplify it. So, paano yan, ma'am? Kung during divcation po ninyo, paano yan? Ilan ang quorum mo, kumbaga? Ilan po ang iyong quorum?
Well, as regular members, yun na kaagad ang aming initial consideration that we are 39, no? Pero kung dadating sila, let us say for example, may dadating na 11 na ex-officio. So that makes the Justice Committee participants a total of 50. Kung dadating silang lahat, that will be 1/2 plus 1. That is 26. That is our quorum. No. I'm sorry. The quorum is only 1/5 under the rules.
1/5 lang?
Yes, 1/5 only.
Okay. So
that's under the rules of impeachment, no?
1/5 lang, ma'am. So,
yes.
Ilan lang ang kailangan mong warm bodies kung sakasakali para walang question sa quorum?
So if it will be, let us say, 40 na lang, or 39, or 50, yung 50 example natin kanina. For purposes of quorum, 1/5 is 10, right?
Okay.
10.
Okay.
Tapos, if we will be voting, for example, on sufficiency in form and substance, ang sabi sa rules, majority of the present members so long as there is a quorum. So, kung 10 yan, for purposes of determination of form and substance, 6 will be enough because that
Okay.
is the majority of 10 and there is a quorum.
Alright, sige po. So, napaka-importante itong mga...
Just to distinguish this, Manong Ted,
Okay.
let us make a distinction between simple majority and majority of all members. No?
Okay, go ahead.
For the purpose of determination of form, substance, sufficient ground of impeachment, ito simple majority lang. Majority of the present members so long as there is a quorum. Okay? Pero pagdating natin ng probable cause, iba ito. This will be majority of all the members. Ibig sabihin, kahit hindi ka mag-attend, kasama ka sa computation ng majority of all to be able to meet the required number of votes for the purpose of probable cause.
Okay, sige po. So ma'am, kapag po humantong na sa ending nito, no, gagawa kayo ng committee report at inyong ihahain sa plenaryo. Yung committee report na yan, yung approval niyan, ano po approval? Meaning kung ano ho ang inyong rekomendasyon, ilan signatures ang kailangan mo doon para po ito maipanik sa plenaryo for the approval na po of the plenary?
For purposes of probable cause and approval of committee report, pareha sila na required vote. That is majority of all members.
Okay. Apo. Majority. And then pagdating po sa plenaryo, you are going to defend the committee report at yung committee
That's correct.
Opo. And the committee report will be subject to all manifestations and kung ano man pong mga komento. Afterwards, pagbobotohan po ito, whether bubuo na kayo ng articles of impeachment.
That is correct, Manong Ted, no?
Okay.
And that committee report is subject to 1/3 vote of all the members of the House of Representatives.
Which is 105 or 106?
My last check, we are 315, so that should be 105 to constitute 1/3.
Okay, sige po. So ma'am, lalabas po ma'am ngayon pala na ito pong ating masasaksihan in the days to come after nitong 10-3-3 na binabanggit yung days, no, ay parang trial na rin, kumbaga. I mean, parang na siyang trial.
Yes, Ted, but siguro mini trial to.
Okay.
It will not be as full-blown as the Senate because remember, the quantum of evidence that is being required of us is merely probable cause, no? And I am anticipating also the possibility that kapag na-satisfy na yung mga prior ground, there might be a member who will be moving to conclude the proceedings because we have reached already the quantum of evidence required. So, that's just a possibility, but it will depend really on the progress of the hearing proper.
Okay. Kumbaga, to abbreviate the proceedings, Madam Chair, hindi nyo na tatapusin po ito kasi nga meron ka na nga ang basihan, no?
Yes, but in that case, it will be subjected to the vote of the majority of the members present.
Okay, sige po. So ma'am, how do you manage all of this now? Kasi nakaatang sa inyong balikat itong napaka-importanting bagay na ito sa gitna po ng lahat. As you all know, pag sinabi kong lahat na po yan. Bira dito, bira doon, o naman po, pressure dito, pressure doon. How do you manage this all?
Ako, Manong Ted, I don't watch social media. I stick to the rules. I am a conservative lawyer. Ayoko nang nag-explore ako outside what is provided under the rules. So I think that's how I manage it. Stick to the rules of impeachment of the House. Stick to the decisions of the Supreme Court. Stick to our Constitution. And try to be discreet in choosing the programs that I will be watching. I purposely watch legal luminaries to provide additional guidance as we go along this impeachment proceeding.